Holy.
Oh my.
Holy
oh my lord. Wow. They almost killed us there. That was a close call. And if you guys are ever in Canada, please don't pet the geese. They're dangerous. That was perfect. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Judah as always, and today I actually have Ed Tiojanco with me, and he is a rope flow expert out of Vancouver, Canada. And today is all going to be about intro to rope flow. So if you've been interested in rope flow, want to get into it, want to learn the initial patterns, that's what we're really going to cover today. And it's also going to be my first time learning too, so you guys will get to learn along with me. All right, so Ed, thanks so much for coming out, man. I'm really excited to get into the rope flow today. But what I want to know first is kind of just a little bit of background on you as a coach, because obviously I know you're a strength coach as well. A little bit about what you do with your clients, and then also kind of how you got into rope flow initially would be awesome.
I'd love to, share, because I've been a coach since 2019, so 2019. I didn't get into rope flow probably until 2021. It was during the pandemic, I kind of gave, it kind of intrigued me. I didn't know what it was. And then after I just saw it a whole bunch of times, I kind of saw the value and the benefit just by looking at it. Before I even had a rope, I actually started just learning the patterns off of whatever I could find on YouTube, just to see if if it was right for me. And then after a lot of just learning the patterns, figuring out how the system works, I was completely bought in. I love it because it gives me a type of active meditation that I didn't feel anywhere else, and it kind of bridged the gap between my strength training and my movement as a human in general. So that was the main reasons why I did. And I'm a dancer. I've been dancing for the past 20 years now, and so I've really kind of found that they're kind of parallel with each other. It turned into this obsession. I practiced basically every day for a whole year and a half, 2 years. Amazing. And it's just turned into something where I built a community around it, and I just want to share it all the time.
Amazing, man. That's really awesome, and that's kind of what has drawn me towards it as well. As I've seen it, I've looked into some of the benefits, and I definitely want to learn it for myself. And actually, where we initially met was at a kettlebell juggling / flow workshop, which I also started doing during the pandemic. I was kind of, gyms were closed. I was out of a little bit of work, and I had kettlebells at home and nothing really else to exercise with. So from there, I ended up, trying to learn kettlebell juggling, just going to the park, flipping and flowing around, following what others were doing on Instagram. And from there, I really, kind of fell in love with the feeling of getting into a flow, right? So 100% definitely see the value. For those at home that are watching right now though, what do you think are the biggest benefits to taking on a rope flow practice, or incorporating a rope flow practice into their own exercise routine?
Oh yeah, for the most part, I find the benefits mainly are in hand-eye coordination. It crosses the midline of the body. A lot of practices are very sagittal plane, everything is just a push or a pull, where this is kind of you want to try and get the rope to move around you. And it really benefited me into just learning how to move while doing certain activities or certain tasks. It taught me how to really dig into speed and tempo. As the rope hits the floor or it hits the ground, you have that feedback where I can go faster, I can go slower, I can create a cadence and a rhythm, and that helps with the dancing too. So
for sure.
It kind of crosses the path of just movement and also dance in general. So it's this rhythmic component can really create a lot of enjoyment in how you're moving and wanting to progress even further.
Okay, yeah, I know, and that makes a lot of sense too, because from my understanding with rope flow too, I always tell people that have asked about it, or even with kettlebell stuff, it's kind of that right-left brain combination where you are focused on the rhythm, but you're also using your body. You're also getting into a bit of a flow state. You're also just trying to enjoy movement, which is a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of exercise. Some people will dread exercise because they're like, oh, I don't like doing this. So by providing them with maybe a different avenue, which is, I think that's the cool part about some of these newer tools coming about is like, just gives people another way to move and to get active. And I always tell people that, you know, the things that you enjoy doing are the things you're gonna probably do long term. So if you find something you like and it gets you active, it gets you moving, then more the power to you, right? Like stick to that because it means you're gonna do it for longer and it's probably gonna bring some more value to your life. So I know you have a lot of ropes in this bag here, Ed. And kind of what I wanna know is, like my personal question is, what are the different ropes? How should I select my first rope as a beginner? And why would I maybe want to use a different width or length of rope?
Okay, so what like really is unique about rope flow is like how you can, you know, kind of find like a rope that's perfect for you. You know, and it varies in different sizes. So we have like the original RMT rope. This is about 1 pound. And this is like, it's really hard, it kind of cuts wind, and like, you know, I find this more for the athletic types to work through it. As a beginner, I would probably do something like a little under 1 pound. This is a beginner rope from Slush Ropes, shout out to Slush. This is probably about 600 to 800 grams, so less than 1 pound, but it has enough feedback for you to kind of feel the smoothness of how the rope should flow, and it really builds as you know, learn more patterns and put more reps in. It's a great progressive overload tool because you know, you can start, you know, really light and then you can go as heavy. The heaviest one I have right here is from Slush Ropes again, and this is about 1.5 pounds. I usually pick a rope for different occasions or how I'm feeling, right? If I wanna, you know, really get a sweat on, I'd grab this 1.5 pound and then I'd probably listen to like an entire album and just try and flow out through the entire album and you know, get a good workout from that. And you know, everything is like, you know, based on preference. For you, Judah, I would say, you know, picking something like maybe like 1 pound or maybe even less than 1 pound, just so you know, you kind of know like how to size it and stuff like that.
For sure, no, that's great. And then in terms of, you know, length of rope, is there like a rule of thumb in terms of length?
So I think it applies pretty simply, just like jump rope. So usually you would just take the handles, you just put your foot right in the middle of the apex, and then if you see that, you know, at the handles are just right below the chest, and at the, you know, kind of like, it's probably right at the abs, it's probably a perfect size. So if it's too long, it's probably like the rope is probably going to flop around. But if it's too tight, it's going to go really fast and you might not be able to catch your movements.
That makes sense.
So I'm thinking I'll hand you the RMT rope over here, because this is probably has a nice tactile feel for you.
Sure.
And you know, let's size it for yourself. You can see I put in a lot of reps in here. I had to tape it up at the end.
So just 1 foot and then kind of pull
just
it.
try and equalize it with the hands. Good.
So it looks
it's right at the chest level. That should be fine for you.
Perfect. Awesome, man. And then having that little extra knot in there is not gonna...
No, it won't. It's just, you know, if you want to shorten the rope, and you want to bring it down to size, you put an
extra knot in.
Put an extra knot in, and you know, you can kind of adjust to your preferences.
Cool.
We got like the anatomy of the rope. We got the handles all the way to the end. This is the body of the rope, and right over here in the curve that meets both handles together, this is the apex. We want to make sure that like there is enough, like our movements really follow along to like how the rope moves, right? So we're gonna go over some basic concepts. We call this one circumnavigation, and basically it's, you want to keep the rope's momentum. and as you keep the rope's momentum, you can change the orientation of your body. So in WEC method, we call it circumnavigation. And yeah, we can just start off with like the hand placement. So if you're holding it with 2 hands, we want to have the OK symbol and just kind of wrap it just like this right into the handles. So when you do these
like
patterns,
this.
when you do these patterns, you do want the rope to roll around, because if you're holding it like a grip, the apex is gonna start to tangle the more you kind of work through these patterns, right?
Okay.
So you wanna have it nice and loose in the OK symbol, okay? Let's go for a one hand, and so we'll have both handles in one hand, and one holding from the thumb and one holding from the index and middle finger. So we have this over here, and I'm gonna start with some overhand throws, so or overhand propeller. So what you wanna do is kind of just figure out the direction of the rope, and so what you wanna try and achieve when we're going in overhand is down and back. So it wants to hit down, and then we're pulling it towards the back, just like this, right?
Okay.
So down and back, we can create this propeller, this helicopter propeller. Good. So as we feel this, we can change the orientation of our body. And so right now, chest is facing the forward right now. So what I want you to try and do is just turn the body toward the front. So we got that. And then we can try and keep this momentum going into the rope, and we can turn towards the water over there. Ready? 3, 2, and 1, and you just want to keep that going. So try and keep it in that one side.
Keep it in this side.
Yeah, there we go. So let's pull it back to the center. Boom. Keep that momentum going, and then let's face it back to where we started. Good. So we like to do something like like this is true north is what we kind of call it here.
Okay.
And so from here, let's try and work the other arm now, and we can just switch, okay? Just switch the hands, try and figure it out. Nice. Yeah. So
the
we
handoff was a little iffy there, but I got it now.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about rope flow, is like as soon as you make the mistake, it's just like, you know, nothing really stops, right?
Yeah.
So with the left arm, it's gonna start feeling a little bit more difficult. It's gonna feel a little bit jankier, but let's try and find that circumnavigation. So this time, we want to face back, all right? 3, 2, 1, let's face it back, and let's keep that propeller going. Nice. So you can see that this is a 360 practice, right? It's not just like jump rope, where it's just, you know, going through the rope in one direction only. We can go in many different directions in rope flow. So let's go towards the water. Let's try and figure that one side out. And now as you feel that rhythm, you can bend the knees as it hits, the apex hits the ground, right? Good, let's bring it back. There we go. Let's bring it back to north. Nice. This is kind of this is circumnavigation. This is kind of the main foundation of how we move with the rope, okay? So now what we want to try and do, let's drop the rope and let's start working on footwork, okay? So how we want to work through and kind of shift our weight is, we like to call it the green dot, and basically it's the point of like right in between the pinky toe and you know, and like the 5th metatarsal over here. So you kind of want to create like a little bit of a screw in there, right? You want to just use that to anchor yourself into the ground, and this is what's gonna like initiate rotation. So with rope flow, it's all about rotation. Everything's a spiral. Everything can rotate, and you can create power with the spine, and that's where, like, you know, the basis of rope flow is. It's trying to move the spine and create power and movement through there. All right. So with the footwork, we just want to kind of like turn our toes a little bit inward. But then what we do is we want to create that little anchor into the green dot and kind of squeeze into that like toe and 5th metatarsal, right? So we can put it into the right, we can pull it into the left, and then when we start moving with it, we actually, and we start, you know, rotating with the rope and turning our body, it's initiated from the green dot here. So if we're turning this way, okay, we want to swivel this foot into the green dot. So
Okay.
you got it here, you can see that the heel's kind of flicked out, and then from here we want to pull that back into the center, and this other side we want to pull this over here, right? So
Okay.
you feel that weight shift into kind of like that pinky toe and the top of the feet, and then we can pull it back in over here. So that's kind of our movement point. So everything starts from the feet, and then yeah, after we kind of figure out where the feet can get rooted, we can really start moving with the spine, right?
Okay.
The first movement I want to teach first is just the figure eight. It'll be two-handed, and we'll start off with just an overhand figure eight. So with the hands, we always want to try to create figure eights with our hands. So we want
Okay.
the right hand to just reach forward. We want the left arm, the left to kind of be palm facing up.
Okay.
And I like to connect, right now it's just a nice reference point to connect the thumb and the pinky. And then we just want to flip it so it's like in this side over here. So, or probably go 180 here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, or 90 degrees, what am I saying?
Or 90 degrees.
Yeah,
Good.
90 degrees
There.
here. So with an overhand grip, we are overhand figure eight, we are leading with the thumb, right? So let's bring it down to about hip level. And then what we want to do is we want to reach upwards and create a nice 8 figure with the hands connected. And then from here, you can, once you kind of get a feeling of that 8, you can start by moving with the shoulders, moving with the spine, and then from here, try and get into those turns that we were working on in the footwork as we turn like into it, right? So here, 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 here. So
Yeah.
you can feel that there's like this natural progression with this figure eight.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice.
And I can already feel personally where I'm a little bit locked up
Yeah,
in my hip or in my
Right.
shoulders.
nice.
You guys know I'm a heavy lifter, so
we gotta loosen that up a bit.
no,
Good.
I think I will get looser as I go here, but
Yeah,
no,
good
this
stuff.
is good.
Awesome. Okay, nice. So that itself is the overhand figure eight. Let's try it with the rope. And you know, you can start off on one side, and you know, we can start neutral for now, but as we move forward, we want to try and have more of a staggered stance. But
Okay.
this is a good way to kind of get started. So we got two hands onto the handles, and then we are going to go for an overhand grip. So you can try and just connect this right away already. So this is going to be like that.
Yeah.
And then we can start with just creating some momentum for the rope. So this one, let's go, you know, toward the back of the body, right?
Okay.
There we go. Nice. And then we can try and go lead with the thumb, bring it over. And then we want to try to let that rope clear. We don't need to force it. So create that figure eight with the hands and the wrist at first. Once you get that all connected, you can start moving with the shoulders. And then remember, you can bend the knees as you hit the apex into the floor. Yeah, good, good. If things are a little hard when it's too close, you can bring the arms out so you can feel the weight. How are the wrists feeling? How are the shoulders feeling?
Yeah, okay.
Good stuff, good stuff. So this is looking pretty good. And what we want to try and work on now is the underhand position. So let's pause that. When it comes to underhand, we are going to lead with the pinky over here, right?
Okay.
So this is going to be this way, right? So you can see the opposite motion is the overhand, right? So here, it's still connected, but you don't have to have them touching, right? But then as you work through underhand, you're leading with the pinky this time, right? So for this one, same motion, but remember we want to lead from the left side pinky, and then this will be more of,
So
kind
this
of
time
just
we're
like,
kind of going up.
yeah, it's gonna be, instead of down and back,
Do I
it's
keep that
forward and
same
up.
initial hand position?
You want to try to at least have the right hand follow the left, right?
Okay.
So We can start on the left side just like this, and it's gonna be forward and up, right? So we wanna try and just go for like an upwards propeller first, so just try and get that ready to go. And then lead with that pinky on the left side, just make sure that's the one leading the rope. Good, nice. So feeling the arms, feeling the shoulders, start moving the spine and let the hips follow. And let's try and get that footwork in as well. Try and keep it into the toes, yep. You can feel that kind of swing feeling when it comes to underhand. When it goes overhand, it's more of a throw. This one's more like a baseball swing, right?
Yeah.
Good, nice, nice. So figure eight is our best entry point to start learning rope flow. These guys are the best, like overhand and underhand, very simple, easy practice. You can do this for hours basically, and kind of just like, you know, it's just an instant feedback. Oh, it hit my foot. Oh, okay, I gotta, you know, move my body where it needs to be in order to, you know, let that rope clear smooth and clear. Pretty good, nice. How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I can feel like for myself that, yeah, you know, like I want to be able to go here, and I'm a little bit locked up in the shoulders, but overall it feels good. Like I feel like I have at least a little bit of background of flow, so it's not super choppy, but yeah, a little bit better shoulder mobility would help. But at the end of the day, I know it feels good. And
That's awesome.
I understand the pattern so far.
Yeah, and you know, that's kind of like what one of the benefits of rope flow is. It's kind of just like, it kind of just shows you like where you are today, right? And it kind of just like there's a big feedback involvement, like instant feedback, because as soon as you start a pattern, you're like, oh, like, you know, my shoulders aren't clearing, or like, you know, it's like one side feels a little bit more like tighter than the other. This is a way to kind of like build, you know, those leaks and those weaknesses, and you know, the mobility that's not there. Like I call it like one of the most active mobility tools that you know, anyone can work on. Like, holy shit.
Oh my
shit.
Lord. Wow.
Yeah, that was.
They almost killed us there. That was a close call. And if you guys are ever in Canada, please don't pet the geese. They're dangerous. I promise you, they're not nice. Hopefully you guys at home are enjoying the video so far. If you are, please remember to subscribe to the channel as we post more videos like this every single month. As well as if you like the video, leave a like. And if you have any questions for myself or for Ed, leave a comment. I'm also gonna leave Ed's information down below this video if you wanna contact him. I'm also gonna link some of those ropes that he had mentioned earlier so you guys can go purchase one yourselves.
Now that we know the figure eight, let's do some like matadors, okay?
Okay.
The premise of a matador is basically doing a propeller, one revolution of a propeller, and then continuing to go to the other side with, you know, with just, it's a 1 count, and then off to the other side of the figure eight. One count off to the side for a figure eight. So if we're doing a overhand matador, matador's wheel, we want to start off with one propeller and then cross the midline. So one hit and the other side. So we want to have a good understanding of where the rope's going, the figure eight in general, and just creating a nice side-to-side motion. So you can see here I'm putting that weight onto the green dot. I want to make sure that my body is shifted so that it clears from the rope clears from side to side. And from here, this is where you can add like a speed or a rhythm component now, because if you up the BPM of this, you can hear the rope just slapping into the floor. And then, you know, depending on how strong you want to get with it, you can really, you know, cut some air with this, right?
Yeah.
So I usually like to give the cues one circle and then across. One circle, then across, one circle, then across.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're doing overhand, meaning
overhand, right? So when we do the overhand, just make sure that we're leading from the right side. If we're starting on the right side thumb. And then we want to try and go down and back here. So down, back, and then cross the midline, find one circle, cross the midline, one circle. Yeah. Nice. Good.
Wait, am I going the right direction though?
It's looking good. Yeah. Nice. Good, good. So try and keep those feet rooted. And then try and really turn into each hip basically, right? So once it crosses the midline, good. Nice. So 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Good. Nice, nice. Okay, just to test it out, try and go a little faster. Good. Nice, nice. You can see when you hit the limit, right? Like,
yeah.
There we go. Nice, nice. There we go. All right, good. How does the Matador feel for you?
Good, yeah.
Nice,
it feels nice.
Oh, it's pretty athletic. I like to, I like to think of it as more of like an overhand punch or a throw. And it gives just like speed and also like a stimulus response. You want to try and, put some stress into it, throw the rope a little harder, and all of the foundational elements still have to stay in order for it to fully encompass the benefit, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I could feel there too a couple times when I didn't keep the rhythm perfectly, then it got a bit choppier, right?
Yeah,
so it's like also, even though you speed it up, you still have to keep all the spins consistent, right? It's not like, it can't be choppy, otherwise it's gonna feel off, which I definitely felt on a few of those as I sped it up.
Yeah.
It got a little choppier.
Perfect.
And then my hand position, I also noticed when I was like here, I was like, oh, I didn't get fully over, or I need to get a little more over, so.
Perfect, perfect. So let's try and put this all together with the foundation, some circumnavigation, some of the patterns, and yeah, we can try and work through just like one type of flow routine. So, or even the pattern, the circumnavigation pattern. So
sure.
Let's start off, we're gonna do a side, I think we're gonna do a side profile for this one. Yeah.
So facing.
We're gonna face this way. We're gonna start with an overhand Matador. To make things stick, let's not use our dominant side. So usually we'd be throwing from our right. Let's start with our left. So let's stagger our stance a little bit more. Left foot forward, right foot back, and then you want to just try and find that green dot again. Okay. And then from here, you want to make sure that this is a locomotive practice, and we want to try and work through the WEC method concept of head over foot. So try and get the bottom of your chin just over the front foot, right? So from here, we're gonna start our overhand Matador. We wanna get that left thumb to guide the movement, and then we're gonna start off with just a figure 8, okay? Start off with that figure 8, back and forth. Keep most of the weight onto that front leg, so the left leg. There we go. Nice. And so we want to change from overhand to underhand while turning. So it's going to look like this. We want to go bring that overhand, and then we're actually going to transfer a little bit. So you want to try to work through the same motion of that propeller once you reach this position. And we're gonna go for a full 180, right?
And just something I realized with myself is if I was here and the rope's getting crossed, that means I'm not doing this, right? Because I just realized it's like, oh, the rope is crossing, I need to open up more to get the rope.
Yeah, there needs to be a little bit of separation in the rope in order to feel it.
That's what I was kind of missing, I think. The rope was a bit crossed. Now I really feel that it's open.
And it's weird because like the fix is to loosen it up, right?
Yeah.
Like, loosen up the grip. so it doesn't tangle. Good stuff. So now what we want to do, let's just, we'll take off the momentum for a little bit and we'll work on the footwork, okay? So after working through this, we want to try to have the hips turn. So from here, we want to plant that heel, and then we actually want to try and switch over to this side. Yes. So there will be basically one transfer. So one, it'll be one hit of that overhand, and it's gonna go straight into underhand. So we want to go here and under, right? So you can see that we'll go for like a nice figure 8.
That's over,
and then here.
under.
And you can see that my feet aren't actually moving. It's just that orientation change, right? Over, right? And then here, right? So we don't have to like get into it right away. You can always, like, if you switch your position, you can just move, you can just like safely go back into just a propeller on one side and just try and get it. Yeah, there we go. Good. So don't forget to really rotate that right foot so that it faces front as well, right?
Okay.
So when you find that transfer, it's like we want to loosen it up, and then now the right foot has turned into that front leg now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can see that, like, if I'm doing it without the rope, it'll go overhand, right? And you can see now when it's a staggered stance, that weight shifts way more apparent, right? So when we go overhand, it's shifting over to this side, and you can see that it's turning, and now this is allowing, you could even turn that heel inwards a little bit more, And then once you're there, you can plant that side and start working on the underhand position here.
So when I'm coming over from this overhand, I'm coming here.
Yeah.
You said it's one down, and then how do I get into the underhand from there?
So here. Ooh, wait, I'm going overhand. That's why. Here. So you can see I'm, once I go for this throw from the left side, I want to create one propeller in the middle over here. So boom, propeller, and then try and...
And then under.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, this is more of like where you find your feet. Once it hits, once the apex hits
and
there,
then
now we're there. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. And so, once you're there, you can try and work into that reverse motion. So now we're underhand, and now we want to transfer it to the overhand. Yeah, keep going. Yes.
Then it would be...
There we go, and there we go. You got the whole 180 over here.
There we
Perfect.
go. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Nice.
And I just gotta loosen it up a bit.
Loosen it up a little bit. Yep. Perfect. There we go. Now we'll try and work through here and try and find that underhand. Yeah. Nice. Love it. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you got a flow going on now.
Now we're flowing, baby.
Woo. Let's bring it back to overhand. Yeah, that'll be the hard part. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Perfect. Nice.
How does the hands look with this one? Good?
That one, like, the hands look pretty awesome there.
Okay.
Good. Nice. There we go. Try and really push into that front hip a little bit more. Really engage from the feet. Boom. Good stuff. Nice. Perfect.
There we go.
Look at that. Hell yeah. Good.
It feels nice.
Nice. So that is the circumnavigation drill. And like, we want to try, like, right now we did it for figure 8s, and you know, as you progress, say something like the Matador's wheel, you can turn, you know, you can start combining the foundations and the patterns together. So, you know, if I were to do a Matador's wheel one way, so hit and cross, I can go here, hit and cross. So you can see we didn't do the underhand Matador's wheel just yet.
Yeah.
So you can see here that you can turn it into kind of like an infinity pattern, right? So doesn't end. And then, yeah, and then after that, once you kind of get these patterns, like the nuances start to show up once you get it, right? You know, the wrist placement, the movement of the spine, you know, working through the coil, as you know, that's more of a WEC method terminology and you know, a basis for this movement. The rope teaches you how to coil and use your spinal engine to, you know, pull.
And I can really feel that, like because I'm familiar with, I've done a bunch of landmine and I've done some of the WEC method stuff. So I'm familiar with the coiling, but you can really feel the tightening of this oblique and hip. Right? And then I know that this is opening.
Yeah,
right?
that lat opens up.
But as I'm transferring the weight, I can really feel that side to side motion.
It kind of creates that fluid movement to, you know, whatever the isometric of that coil was, right? And yeah, it just turns into this, you know, whole 360 practice where you can, you know, slowly and progressively just like get better and better at better. And for me, it's helped me just like know my awareness around space. And you know, since I'm a dancer, like I fight with gravity in the floor all the time, and so like I always want to be aware of where my body is in space. And so it gives, you know, just a lot of I would say just a lot of carryover and benefit, and you know, some things that like I never would have thought of in like the 20 years of me dancing, and now I'm thinking about, oh, like what if I coil this? What if I work through this footwork in rope flow, and how can I incorporate it to the dancing? How can I make it more efficient for myself, right? Like,
that's really
and
cool.
it turns into this like kind of brand new thing, and it kind of just like energizes all of my other practices.
Amazing, man. Yeah,
Cool
no,
stuff.
that's fantastic. Really appreciate you coming on, showing us, you know, how to get started with the rope flow. Like I said, I wanted this to kind of be an intro for myself, but also for anybody at home that wants to learn for the first time. These are the patterns that you can start with, get better with, and then eventually maybe you'll be as, you know, talented as Ed one day. Actually, maybe we should do that. Maybe you should end off with a bit of an advanced flow for us,
I'd
so
love
they
to
can see where you can get to, right?
Oh man, I'd love to.
Yeah. Oh, shit. And he's just going and going.
Woo!
Oh, heck yeah, man. That was sick. Thanks so much for that. Thanks so much for tuning into the video, guys. Once again, my name is Coach Judah from Manzolo Strength. This is Ed, the rope flow man himself. All links are below if you guys want to contact us. And as per usual, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us grow the channel. I'm trying to bring a lot more unique type videos to you guys real soon on all things strength and fitness related. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.